Stephan is completely wrong when it comes down to credit cards. And I'll say why. Suppose I was giving you advice where 40% of you would actually lose money or would actually not get a good deal. That doesn't sound like a good idea, right? I mean, I would feel actually a little bit bad if I were to give advice where almost half of you would actually be getting a raw deal. It would actually cause harm, cause lost money, and you would set you back financially. Well, Stephan, while he does somewhat clarify this when it comes down to the issue of credit cards, he promotes credit cards on his channel. He does have a caveat that you shouldn't carry balance, and I agree with that. But here's the problem. Nobody gets credit cards with the intention of getting debt. That's part of the temptation of having a credit card. Over time, you have a tendency to overspend, and then psychologically it's not as damaging when you're actually spending. You're like, I can buy that, sure, I can charge that and buy some more items. But in the process, 40% of all the people who have credit cards end up in debt, and that's not good because that's a lot of money. Think about each $100, you're going to pay an extra 12 to 18 bucks a year in interest that you have on your revolving credit. And I think the average credit card user who has debt has about 8 to 10,000 on their credit card balance. So that's money that is just thrown away. You can't even deduct that kind of interest because it's just personal expense. So I have to question whether it's a good idea to promote something where even if you have good intentions, even if you say, look guys, don't carry a balance, it's not a good idea. The problem with that is that nobody goes into this with the intention of actually carrying a balance. It's something that kind of happens. As an example, think of the people who have lost a lot of money in casinos. Do you think even one person went into that casino thinking, I want to lose a ton of money and I want to just be unhappy? I want to give all of my money to the casino. I want to give thousands. But there are a lot of people who have been addicted to gambling. Now, none of them had the intention of giving their money away to the casino, but that's just how it turned out. And in a similar fashion, people maybe innocently, they think, you know what, this credit card, I can get 1 to 2% back. Maybe it gives a 5% revolving category bonus. And so I'm going to get the credit card and I'm going to save money. But the credit card companies are definitely brilliant because they know human weakness. They have a lot of data. Do you really think that these companies are trying to lose money? They have enough data to know that the odds favor them, not for the average credit card user. So, of course, they will promote the credit card. They used to send it in the mail like every day. You would get a pre-approved offer, and of course, it's very easy to get credit cards nowadays. And it sounds great. Here's 2% back on all your purchases, but they know that if you have that revolving credit, that's 18 to 20% in their pocket every single year, and maybe you'll increase the spending, or maybe you'll miss the payment and you'll have to pay an extra amount of money on top of that. So these credit cards are onto the system, and of course there are a few people who do benefit from credit cards. Like I benefit from credit cards. I'll admit I use the credit cards, and Graham uses credit cards, and that's smart the way he does it. But I think that there is something we have to keep in mind, that when we're promoting credit cards, we're promoting something where 40% of the people will actually not do well with it. Like, think of it, if I gave you investing advice, like to invest in Vanguard or something like that, where you invest in the broad markets, if 40% of you would actually be worse off like 5 years from now, I don't think I would feel very comfortable really recommending that if that is the outcome. So you have to really work on the risk factor a lot more. Seems like credit cards have a lot of downside risk for the vast majority of people. I'm not saying to ban them. I think that instead we just need to be very careful when promoting these things. we have to, maybe Graham is wrong. Maybe he overestimates how rational some people are. I mean, I'm a very rational person, but I'm an unusual person in a sense that I only think about saving money and trying to get ahead. Whereas a lot of people, they're thinking about their short-term impulses. Think about when you go to Disneyland, you go into the gift shop and they have like a $100 shirt here and a lollipop and Mickey Mouse ice cream and all this stuff. And if you had to pay with that for it in cash, you'd be pretty resistant. But I bet there are a lot of people with their families and buying a whole bunch of this poorly made crap made in China, and they're just racking up the credit card bills, and then they're paying an extra, possibly another 18 to 22% per year to buy junk that rapidly depreciates in value and probably breaks very quickly. So you have to really consider that a lot of people are not getting ahead in life precisely because of their credit cards, and that's an unfortunate thing. Not only that, this is a nice neighborhood. Not a single person in this neighborhood has gone ahead because of credit cards. They can't say, oh, I bought this home because I have credit card reward points. I'm here because I really saved so much money with my rewards points. Now, I do like the rewards points that I get with my credit card, but it's more of a psychological thing. I don't think it pushes the needle one way or the other. For me, it's almost insignificant. Like in a previous video, I made fun of Graham a little bit because I said, because he kind of indicated, oh, I'm so rich, even if they raise taxes, it doesn't matter to me. Well, in a similar fashion, if higher taxes don't hurt you, then bonus points aren't really going to benefit you either, because that's really infinitely small compared with your overall income. So that's what I think of credit cards. I think that for a very small number of people, it probably is a benefit, but you have to know going in that most people don't intend to give the credit card companies money. They do it, they end up losing money to these credit card companies mainly because they are thinking about their impulsive purchases, and that's just the nature of consumer behavior. You have to realize that these companies have such great insight into in terms of how you think. You're not really going to be able to outsmart them most of the time unless you are super rational like me. Like, I'm the most rational person out there. Anyway, I hope that I saved you money. Click the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.